If you guys remember about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, I had a Teac DA-P20 that I replaced all the caps on and kind of got it working, but then I ended up using it as a parts wrecker to steal the pinch roller out to fix another DA-P20 that had been donated to my channel. Well, today I think I'm going to try and get that DA-P20 working again.
So this is a little Teac portable DAT that I was given, I don't know how many years ago. We started on this one, but it was never finished because there was parts that I didn't have. And I thought maybe I've got some spare parts now that I might be able to get this thing running. So this is one of those DA-P20. Now I've already got a DA-P20 as well. In fact, I have two of them. And one of them I got running, but the other one I did not get running, and that is this one here. And the reason why I didn't get this one running is because it doesn't have a pinch roller. The pinch roller is totally missing, so I didn't even put this one back together. It's all in pieces still. I don't even know if I can remember where all the parts went. But yes, I do have all the parts here. I got everything in a bag. So I thought maybe, just maybe, I might be able to get a pinch roller out of this old Sony DTC75 ES mechanism. The pinch roller may be the same dimensions as used on this Teac. Let's see if it works. This is the other DA-P20 that I got up and running. I think the cabinet on this other one might even be in better shape. This one here works, and I've got a power supply that I had to convert, as this was a 240 volt power supply when I got it. This one was actually sent to me by a fella in Australia who sent me this one. This one was a local that I picked up locally from a guy that just said, here, you can have it, and he left it at his door. And as I say, I think I've recapped this thing. I forget, it's been so long. But this one's on the board today. See if I can get this one running. Of course, anybody who remembers these goofy systems knows the goofy power supply. These are the batteries. Look at the rating. +6 and -6 volts. They were a split supply and they used a split battery. Just absolutely stupid design that Teac had on this. Even though the Tascam version, the DA-P1, used a single supply, this one used a split supply. So first I'll harvest the pinch roller from the donor deck. I think the pinch rollers are probably about the same diameter, the same size. I hope it's the same, but we'll see. So I'll just pry this one off, including the little clip on the top. There's the little retaining clip right there, and I can lift off the pinch roller. Will this pinch roller fit? We'll find out pretty quick. The answer is yes, it will. So, put the retaining clip on top. Voila! I have now installed the pinch roller. Now, I don't remember if there was anything else wrong with this machine, so we'll power it up. I've got the split power supply here with the plus and minus 7 volt supply. We'll just see what this does. And have I created another working DAT machine? You know, because one can never have too many working DAT machines. This would be like the third portable of this type. 2 of these and 1 of the DA1s. Okay, power. Will this power up? Power. Oh, it might help if I'm not even going to say that because I'll get somebody mad at me. But it might help if I turn on the bench power. I turn my bench power off at night, right? I don't leave it running. Okay, so this says it's turned on. Will it open? That part works. I have a bad tape here, so I don't know whether this tape is going to play because this tape got eaten by the last machine that saw it. So we'll see what happens with this tape and just see whether I get anything at all from this machine. A line out. Does it do anything? Well, that part works. Unbelievable, it works.
Not really unbelievable, because I did fix the board 6 or 7 years ago, and then I rubbed the pinch roller out of it to fix the other one.
I'm happy. Yeah, I got the bass turned down on my amp here. I was transferring a 16 millimeter film for a client, and I had to use my amp to pad the sound to go into my camera. So this 16 millimeter film was so poppy and clicky from on the soundtrack that it was popping my woofer. So I turned the volume down, the bass down to minimum, so that I could actually listen to it while I was transferring it. This belt here might need replacement, but cool. What a great score. Well, I shouldn't say great score. I've had this unit. I've had this unit for years and years and years, but to say, I think I did all the caps in this before. Oh, just knocked the power out there. Looks like I've changed caps on here, some of them anyway. But I know that I did change some caps. I've changed these ones. These are mine. They had surface mounted caps in here that were leaking. I changed all these ones out before that were bad. I think one of the other reasons I abandoned this project is at the time I didn't have the proper power supply for it. So that might have been my doing. That might have been my doing to hook it up to 2 power supplies to power it up. And because the pinch roller was bad and I didn't have the proper adapter, I just stuck it in a box and left it. And then I got another one that was donated to me from Australia, which is the one that this power supply came from. I gotta fix that up. I got a bridge here, I know. I got this other power supply with another unit given to me. Or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I pulled the pinch roller off this one to fix the other one. I'll have to go back and look at my videos. They were a while back, but that may have been, I may have pulled the pinch roller off this one to fix the other one and just left this one sit. So we'll fix this up, then I'll do a test recording on here and make sure that it records and that it plays, and put it all back together. I'm just going to go over these big resistors in the power supply as well. It looks like the solder connections on here could use some reflowing. I think these are in the battery circuit. It looks like these are where the battery terminals connect to. So they may be limiting resistors for the batteries. Okay. Now we'll try it again and see if it's still cuts out when I move that power cord. Let's see how skip works on here. That seems to be working. Next one. Oh, I think that's the end of the tape. Or is it? Yeah, I think that's the end of the tape. So let's rewind the tape back to the beginning. I think there's some damage on this tape. The last machine I was working on, the one with the bad guide, I think it chewed the tape up a bit. So I don't know how it's going to affect playback. But this now becomes a tape that goes in machines that of unknown quality. I'm not going to be putting this tape in or a machine that might chew a tape up, let's just say. Yeah, some dropouts, you hear them. That's the crunched tape. That's Sony that had the guide that was sticking. I think there's more than just the guide sticking, because the tape would flip up over the drum and end up going around the back here. Did that a few times. But the guide itself would not turn. But this one appears to be working, so let's put it together. Stop. Eject button is up here. I'll show you guys something different on this deck too, because I'm going to show you something on my
Tascam DA-P1.
You'll notice some differences. Looking at this one here, I think this is a better deck. You'll be amazed at the differences, and amazed at how much better this one is than the professional Tascam. So now I just made every Tascam worthless, and everybody's going to be looking for the Teac DA-P20, sorry. And the Tascam's a DA-P1. Here's the DA-P1. Love this little mechanism. Look at all that plastic. Oh my gosh. Plastic, plastic, plastic. Everything's plastic. Rubber tires, right? Plastic, plastic. Plastic. Look at the guides here. The guide plate is plastic. Everything's plastic now. Look at the Teac. Metal. You know that's going to last longer. Look at the mechanism over here. Metal. All metal. Real gears. If you're spending the money to buy a portable DAT machine, which one are you going to buy now? Are you going to buy a Tascam DA-P1? Are you going to buy a DA-P1? Or are you going to buy a Teac DA-P20? Looking at this, I'm going to take the DA-P20 over a DA-P1 any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Look at that. It's beautiful. Metal. And I did nothing mechanically to this machine. I've changed caps on it. You can see the caps that I changed down here. Right? This was my work from 5 years ago. In fact, I think if we look back far enough, I got this one running, but I didn't have the power supply for it. And then when I got the other one that needed a pinch roller, I had the power supply for it, so I just grabbed the pinch roller off this one to fix the other one. That may be what happened to this, because I do remember that I did work on this thing years and years ago. But the belt's really easy to change on this one too. You don't have to pull the thing all apart. The DA-P1, if you remember that, you got to pull the circuit board out, or you got to pull the whole mechanism out to change the little tiny belt that's on the bottom. The only bonehead design on this one is the stupid split power supply. That's got to be one of the dumbest things I think that I've ever seen any company do. Although these are a NiCad battery pack, so this battery pack would be relatively easy to restore. And I actually have 2 of these batteries because I have 2 of these units. Anyway. Let's put this one back together. So let's see how good my memory is. I believe the blue is the ground wire, and the white, or the blue is the negative. Is it the negative? Let's see, the battery slips in like this. So, yeah, the negative terminal goes in like that. So the negative terminal is blue, the ground is white, and the red terminal in the middle is positive. So red terminal goes to plus. Should be one that's marked battery plus here somewhere. Battery ground, battery plus. Their battery plus goes to here, looks like. Where do they tie down to? I think they tie down over here. Battery plus goes to here. And battery ground goes to here. See, I'm multi-talented. I can solder with my left hand. And battery negative goes to here. I think that's where they go. Not that it matters, because I doubt whether I'm ever going to rebuild a battery pack for one of these things. I doubt that I'm even really going to use this thing much. It's just more or less, I have it, I was able to fix it, and I can now put it back together and make it look like new. So let's see here. We got some shielding, I guess it's got to go in here. There's a shield that solders down onto the board, and it goes down, I think, kind of like that, or it's screwed down. Yeah, it's screwed down. So let's oops, that wire didn't stay down now, did it? Yeah, that goes on like that. So there are screws that hold the shield in place, namely this one, where it's marked ground. That ground screw goes through here. And there's another one over here. Probably doesn't need this shield. This was more to prevent this from causing interference to radios, I think, than anything else. And then there's probably a couple more screws that go in the front here. I got to pull this off because there'll be another couple of screws that go in at the front. One that's missing. And one that goes over here on this side. There is a screw through there. Oh yeah, there's ground wires here too. These would attach to this side of the circuit board, or the side of the shield, I think. Now there's another one there, and there's probably one right in the middle here. And there's one right there. That's where those go. They thought of everything on this, didn't they? Screw goes down there, and there should be one more on this side, which is probably in the bag full of screws that I have for it. As I did keep everything. The fact that I kept everything in a bag is a pretty good indication that I had, at some point, figured that I would revisit this unit and get it back running again. It just took me 5 years to finally get around to doing it. Here's the screw that goes on this side. And it's going to get soldered down here, and these 3 ground wires will get put on here once the front cover is put in place. So they're building a house up the street from me, and I drove by there and I looked at it, and it's like, my God, the guy is putting in, and I'm not kidding, 400 amp service, 400 amp power service to his house. He's building an elevator in, and there are two service feeds going into his house from the pole. Like the hydro feed going from the pole to his house, there are 2 of them. So in other words, another multi-million-dollar mansion that's going in. eject button that goes in here, right there. Eject button fits on top there, like that. And there should be an input attenuator switch. Where is it? There should be a little switch that goes in here. Somewhere there's a little switch cap here somewhere. Probably in the box still. So I can return this thing to its glory. Make it work like new. There we go. And top cover just drops on like that. Okay, got all the screws back in. We have a headphone level control here. Goes on there. And we have our record level control. Set it to 0. That goes on there like that. And then the other knob.
CQ.
I would say I just got audio bombed.
And of course the battery cover to cover the battery compartment if it was to be used. I'll take that ugly rubber coating off of this first. It's already been taken off of this. This piece still has the rubber coating. Let me get rid of that. I'm choosing isopropanol alcohol to saturate and remove that rubberized coating, which is just disgusting. Nobody should have used this. I have a computer. I have an old IBM ThinkPad that's coated in this stuff, and it's turned like this as well. I have a camera that's coated in it too, that's turned to mush. Sticky mess that this stuff is. I guess somebody thought it was a good idea at the time and didn't realize that this stuff would, over only a couple of years, would deteriorate into the mess that it became.
That, or they couldn't fathom that somebody would still be using this equipment this many years down the road. They figured, okay, this will be good for 5 years, but this thing will be in the garbage in 3.
Alright, that looks a little bit more presentable than it did before. And this just clips on somehow. I think it's like that. There we go. There. That looks a whole lot better than before. Now I got all that black crap on my hands. I can't do a recording on this one for you guys. Well, I guess I can if I use the digital input, but I can't do a recording offhand because I don't have any balanced XLR, and even though it will record unbalanced, these serve as mic and line inputs. I don't have any XLR connectors to make up. You know, someone's gonna some twit out there is gonna be some troll. It's going to be, what do you mean you don't have any connectors? I don't have any connectors. I have no need for pro audio connectors. I don't do pro audio stuff. I don't work on pro audio stuff. That's a crease in the tape. I don't have any need for XLR. I used to when I was dealing with pro microphones for my broadcast cameras. I used to deal with it all the time. But I haven't dealt with that stuff in years. I really don't need any XLR type cables. So I don't have any adapter cables handy. If I need them, I get them. So on the front here, you've got line, mic, and I forget what the other input is. Anyway, I have to look at my other one. Anyway, I'm sure it records just fine. It plays without any problems whatsoever. If I switch counter mode, we can see the counter, the absolute time displays. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's the power. I bet it's that switch on the back for battery. I bet you that switch is dirty. I bet you that's what that was when I moved it. Yeah, that switch. Oh well, we'll give it a cleaning. When I moved the switch there slightly, the power went off. In order to use this on battery, I'm going to have to rebuild the battery packs anyway, because it's 6 volts. So at 1.2 volts per, you need 5. So there'll be 10. There's going to be 10 batteries inside this thing. They're probably even smaller than AA. Anyway, I can certainly crack one of these open. I've got 2 of them. Maybe we'll do that. Just see what's inside this battery pack. Get my side cutters. Looks like this one's been done before. It looks like somebody's been into this and they glued it together. What is in here? Ah, there is 10 batteries. They're small little batteries. They're called KR600. That's got 2 different sizes. Cool. Check this out. I would have never guessed that. Well, I guess I would have, because it says plus 6,000 milliamp, minus 600 milliamp. So I guess I would have guessed that they were probably different sizes, but they are. So the small ones are KR600 by Sanyo, nickel cadmium, rechargeable batteries with a little thermal cutout over here. And then the other ones are also Sanyo with a piece of paper separating them. These are KR1500AUL, Sanyo, cadmium, ultra, with another little power, or should say temperature sensor over here to cut the power off if the batteries were to overheat. That's obviously a safety. So if I want to restore these batteries, I'm going to have to order 5 of these larger batteries and 5 of the smaller batteries. It's a kind of a stupid design, if you ask me, having a split power supply for a battery pack. Teac, what were you thinking? Especially since the Tascam, it used this long, I think it was a 7.2 volt pack, but it used this long skinny battery pack on the back of it that powered it up, because this one here only used 1 voltage for the DAP1. 1 voltage here, 7.2 volts, and ground, right? Same thing. It's, you know, special connector obviously, but 2 of them are connected together, which is 7.2 volt and ground. And this other one here, of course, you had +7 and -7 and ground. Kind of a dumb way of doing it, if you ask me. So one last thing to put onto this, and that is that battery cover, wherever I did with it. Here it is right here. We'll put the battery cover on and say, thanks for watching. Kind of locks in like that. There you go. Back together, working at last. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.